بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which will be the speaking of Unit 3. But before we do that, if you remember our previous lesson, the reading lesson, we learned about eco-tourism. If you remember, what's eco-tourism? Yes, that's correct. It's tourism related to natural places where you can go hiking or skiing. So enjoying nature while you are visiting the place. And we learned the word eco. What does the word eco means? Yes, that's correct. It's something that's related to the earth or the environment. So eco, something related to the earth or the environment. So when you connect it with the word tourism, so it means that you're going touring with something linked or connected with nature. So before we go to today's lesson, let's take this exercise in workbook, page 107. Let's read the article together, and then now we'll be listening to the article together, and we will be answering some questions later. So let's listen.
The Maho Bay Camps, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. The Maho Bay Camps in St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands is one of the oldest and most acclaimed green hotels in the world. The first of the eco-tents were built in 1976 using hand construction methods that left the local ecosystem undisturbed. Each of the 18 original tents was constructed on raised platforms that are connected by elevated walkways. Today there are 114 units at the Maho Bay Camps, but because of these construction methods, the sand and coral remains mostly intact. In addition to the elevated construction, there are other eco-friendly design features. For example, the camps use rain collection and passive solar architecture. Also, the bathrooms have low flush toilets and pour change showers, so that people use less water. Additionally, the runoff water is connected to a recycling system that is designed to water the plants in the area. Due to the popularity of the Maho Bay Camps, the owner has recently built another facility on the other side of the island. These tents have the latest in sustainable design, including solar energy. They also have more impressive views of the ocean.
Let's continue here.
Admittedly, staying at the camps feels more like a rustic summer camp than a beach resort, but that is much of its charm. The tents are actually wooden cottages with fabric tops. They each have separate sleeping areas and open-air balconies. Some of them have views of the ocean, but unfortunately, most of them don't because of the lush foliage and trees. However, the trees provide a lot of privacy, so they have benefits too. The wooden walkways that connect the tents have so many steps that they recommend that you only stay there if you are physically able to get around. There are shared public bathrooms and guests need to use the walkways to get to them. Every tent has electricity and fans. Although the camps are rustic, the cost is still expensive because, unfortunately, ecotourism costs more to sustain than a typical resort. Guests will find that they are paying similar prices to typical resorts, but they can rest assured that they are able to enjoy the beauty of nature and outdoors without simultaneously damaging it.
So as the theme of this unit, this article is talking about a certain type of accommodation, the tents, and how to spend vacation using tents. It's also regarding the eco-tourism. So let's answer these questions. Why don't the tents disturb the local ecosystem? Why don't the tents disturb the local ecosystem? Yes, they were built by hand on raised platforms, so they don't touch the trees or anything else. They were built by hand on raised platforms, so they are a little bit high. The second question, what are two of the eco-friendly design features mentioned? What are two of the eco-friendly design features mentioned? Yes, rain collection and passive solar architecture, or low flush toilets and pull chain showers that save water. So you can choose this or that. Rain collection and passive solar architecture, or low flush toilets, and pull chain showers that save water. So you can choose this or that. Number 3, why shouldn't people stay there if they aren't physically fit? If you aren't physically fit, you can't run and you don't have the stamina. Why you shouldn't go there? Again, the question: why shouldn't people stay there if they aren't physically fit? If you're not physically fit, you're advised not to go there. Why is that? Yes, that's correct, because they need to use stairs and walk along walkways, because there are lots of stairs and walk along walkways. Last question here: why is it expensive to stay at the Maho Bay camps? Even though they are tents and camps, why are they expensive? Again, the question: why is it expensive to stay at the Maho Bay camps? Yes, because ecotourism costs more to sustain. Again, because ecotourism costs more to sustain. So let's jump to today's lesson objectives. Make notes about the characteristics and benefits of ecotourism. To make notes about the characteristics, the features of ecotourism, and the benefits of it. Work in pairs or groups. Think about the characteristics and benefits of ecotourism and make notes in the chart, which we'll be seeing later. Then list the names of places in your country that are good for ecotourism and the activities that are offered there. The second part: use your notes to discuss your ideas. So this is the chart here. You can see the benefits or the characteristics of the ecotourism and the places in my country for ecotourism. So what are the features, the benefits, the characteristics of ecotourism? You don't have to mention all the 5. Just give me 3 or 4 are enough. So, number 1, respects local culture. Yes, ecotourism respects local culture. They leave the nature untouched, and the people living there, they don't ruin anything, they don't make a mess. So that's why it benefits and respects local culture. Number 2 here, builds environmental awareness. The ecotourism, as mentioned before, it builds environmental awareness. It builds in you and plants in you the respect for the environment. Again, builds environmental awareness. Number 3 here, provides financial benefits for local people. Of course, it benefits the local people to help them to sustain the ecotourism there. Provides financial benefits for local people. So you can continue with 4 and 5 by yourself. Places in my country for ecotourism. There are lots of places here in Saudi Arabia. For example, the first one, Al-Ula, as mentioned before. Al-Ula, you can go there and enjoy the natural views, the desert. Also, Farasan Islands. Farasan Islands, we can enjoy the beaches there. The pristine beaches, as we mentioned before. Also, Riyadh Desert. You can ride camels even in there. You can go to Riyadh Desert and enjoy the nature there. You can continue also, maybe you can say the beach in Jeddah or Dammam, etc. So this is the exercise here. Read the messages and decide what kind of vacation or trip each writer is on. Again, we'll be reading the messages, then deciding what kind of vacation the writer is on. Underline the words or phrases that helped your answer. We'll be underlining the clues or the words that helped us. The first one, to friend@megagold.com. Subject, our trip. Let's read together. Hi, all's well here. We're at the edge of a forest and about a 20-minute walk away from a beautiful beach. We didn't have to pitch our tents because there are simple but comfortable bungalows and on the ground. The only problem is it gets very crowded on weekends because hundreds of people drive over from a swim. That's not all. A lot of them bring their jet skis and start whizzing around in the water. I hate that. Apart from that, it's good fun. The evenings are really great with a campfire, storytelling, and games. Hope you can come along next year. How are you doing? Best, Sam. So, what do you think Sam is talking about here? Sam is the writer here, of course. What kind of vacation is he on? A camping vacation, ecotourism vacation, a luxury vacation, sailing vacation, or business trip? So, it's very obvious here that he is on a camping vacation. So where are the clues here that helped us that we decided that he is on a camping vacation? You can say here the edge of a forest. He's at a forest, at the edge of a forest. We know he's camping there. Also, he said beautiful beach. Pitch our tents. He mentioned tents. That's how we knew that he's camping. Also, he said bungalow on the grounds, the bungalow on the grounds. And let's jump to the other email here to friend@megagoal.com. Subject, greetings. Let's read together. Dear all, the view is spectacular and the wildlife is unbelievable. We're in town for supplies. It's strange to be cut off, no email, no cell phones, but it's good to forget everything and enjoy nature. I'll drop you a line when we come to town next. Take care, Derek. So, what kind of vacation is Derek on? Is it a business trip, ecotourism, sailing vacation, or luxury vacation? Very good, it's ecotourism. How did we know? Because he said the view is spectacular, he's enjoying nature. Also, he said the wildlife. Wildlife is also from ecotourism, he's enjoying nature here. Also, he said cut off. No email, no cell phone, no nothing. He is trying to be cut off from his surroundings. Also, he said, I'm enjoying nature. This is the biggest clue here. He said, I'm enjoying nature. The next email here to friend@megagoal.com, subject the hotel. Dear Saeed, I hope all is well your end. The hotel is fabulous with 5 restaurants, a spa, stores. It's like a designer's village. My room is on the 23rd floor with a breathtaking view of the bay. It's almost too good to be true, and everyone is very polite and professional. The conference starts tomorrow, and our group is getting ready. In fact, I have to meet them in the lobby in about 10 minutes. Wish you were here. Talk to you later. Adil. So, what do you think Adil is talking about here? Is it, of course, it's not camping vacation, it's not ecotourism. So is it luxury vacation, business trip, or sailing vacation? Excellent. It's a business trip. How do we know? Because he mentioned the hotel, that it's fabulous with the 5-star spa and stores. Also, he said it's like a designer village. We know now he's in a fancy hotel. Also, he said a breathtaking view of the bay. Also here he mentioned the conference, because conference, it means that he's meeting people. So now we know that this is a business trip. Also he said our group. Group, of course, he means that they are a group of people. Also he's meeting them at the lobby. So where would you choose to be and why? In which vacation? Where would you choose to be and why? What vacation would you choose? Do you choose a business trip, an ecotourism, camping, or one of your choice? Of course, this is up to you. It's a matter of preference, of a point of view, of an opinion. For me, I think I would choose ecotourism because it sounds very attractive. It would be nice to be cut off for a while and not have to call people or answer emails. Have you ever tried to go on an ecotourism vacation where you where you turn off your cell phone, cut off from people, and just enjoy nature by yourself, cut off from everyone, be yourself, where you have maybe an inner peace, cut off from social media or anything without any people, just for a couple of days. Try it. I'm 100% that you will enjoy it. So as I said, I think that we would choose the ecotourism. Let's jump now to what we took previously, the first exercise in page 107. Let's take it again, read and answer the question. The Maho Bay Camps, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. Do you know what's the meaning of the word camp? Do you know what's the meaning of the word camp? When you heard the word camp, you went camping. You know that there are what? Lots of, yes, that's correct, lots of tents. So let's listen again and try to answer the questions and try to comprehend what is he trying to say.
The Maho Bay Camps, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. The Maho Bay Camps in St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands is one of the oldest and most acclaimed green hotels in the world. The first of the eco-tents were built in 1976 using hand construction methods that left the local ecosystem undisturbed. Each of the 18 original tents was constructed on raised platforms that are connected by elevated walkways. Today there are 114 units at the Maho Bay Camps, but because of these construction methods, the sand and coral remains mostly intact. In addition to the elevated construction, there are other eco-friendly design features. For example, the camps use rain collection and passive solar architecture. Also, the bathrooms have low flush toilets and pour change showers, so that people use less water. Additionally, the runoff water is connected to a recycling system that is designed to water the plants in the area. Due to the popularity of the Maho Bay Camps, the owner has recently built another facility on the other side of the island. These tents have the latest in sustainable design, including solar energy. They also have more impressive views of the ocean.
Okay, so you notice here in the second and third lines the eco-tents and the ecosystem. We know that the word eco means that something that it's something related to nature and the environment. When we say eco-tents, what do we mean by eco-tents? Yes, a tent that is friendly with the environment. It means a friendly material built from materials that are friendly environment. Also the word ecosystem. Here you can read that left the local ecosystem undisturbed. What's the meaning of ecosystem? Yes, the natural system there. The natural system, they left it undisturbed. Also here when you read eco-friendly. Actually the word eco-friendly here you can read it on lots of things that you buy. You can see the logo that it's eco-friendly. What does it mean that it is eco-friendly? Yes, very good. It means that it's built from materials that it doesn't harm nature, and also that it could be recycled. If you remember what's the meaning of the word recycle, we took it in a previous lesson. Yes, to recycle something is to take it from the garbage or the trash, then turn it into a usable thing or a usable object. That when we say eco-friendly, it means that things that are made from substances that doesn't harm the nature, and it could be recycled. So let's continue with the article.
Admittedly, staying at the camps feels more like a rustic summer camp than a beach resort, but that is much of its charm. The tents are actually wooden cottages with fabric tops. They each have separate sleeping areas and open-air balconies. Some of them have views of the ocean, but unfortunately, most of them don't because of the lush foliage and trees. However, the trees provide a lot of privacy, so they have benefits too. The wooden walkways that connect the tents have so many steps that they recommend that you only stay there if you are physically able to get around. There are shared public bathrooms and guests need to use the walkways to get to them. Every tent has electricity and fans. Although the camps are rustic, the cost is still expensive because, unfortunately, ecotourism costs more to sustain than a typical resort. Guests will find that they are paying similar prices to typical resorts, but they can rest assured that they are able to enjoy the beauty of nature and outdoors without simultaneously damaging it.
You can notice this part of the article starting with the word admittedly, the adverb admittedly. If you can remember what does it mean admittedly, and the adverbs always they are related to the talker's attitude. Yes, it comes from the word admit. It means to tell you the truth honestly, admittedly, it's the same meaning. So let's jump now to the questions again. Why don't the tents disturb the local ecosystem? They were built by hand on raised platforms. That's why they were called eco-tents or eco-friendly. Again, what are two of the eco-friendly design features mentioned? What are the two of eco-friendly design features mentioned? Yes, rain collection and passive solar architecture. The word solar always is related to the sun. Yes, solar is something related to the sun. Again, rain collection and passive solar architecture, or low flush toilets and pull chain showers that save water. All of this is eco-friendly. Why shouldn't people stay there if they aren't physically fit? You have to be physically fit to enjoy this camp. Why is that? Yes, as we mentioned before, because they need to use stairs and walk along walkways. So if you plan to go to this camp, you have to raise your fitness level. Why is it expensive to stay at the Maho Bay camps? As we said before, because ecotourism costs more to sustain. It costs more to save it, to sustain it. And with that, we reach to the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.